Well, hey there. It's time for class again. So let's make, well, my friend Doreen DeCebus designed this one. I don't know how much glare you're getting. Anyway, we're going to change it up just a tiny bit. And, but anyway, it'll be mostly similar to this, okay? Because I loved her card. But when you put one of your stamps in the Stamparatus on purpose so that you can easily stamp on a die cut piece, then you need something else for back here. So let's take a look at what we're gonna do here. So these are the pieces that you have, okay, in your envelope, right? You have these 3 skinny designer series paper strips that come from the Nature's Prints. You have your 4 1/4 by 11 thick white card base. Okay, we can set that aside because we don't need that just yet. You have a piece of gray granite that will layer on the front. Then you have a piece where you're going to do some stamping, and you have your die cut. Okay, so the die cut fits in just like a puzzle. Okay, we take our stamp pad and lightly, just like I was inking any other stamp, just light taps. Okay, and then we're gonna close that, give it a little press, and voila. There we go. Come on. That's the hardest part, is getting it back out of the template. Okay. All right, so there's that piece done. Now we can put the Stamparatus out of the way. All righty. So now we have this piece, and I am going to use my mat, my silicone mat, to add whoops. Well, let's get it started first, and then I can add the designer series paper. And we're going to put all 3 strips right over here. Now you can arrange them, of course, in any way that you like. Okay, I'm going to just try and, whoops, this one pulled a little high first here. There we go. Oops, now I'm a little far over. I just want to leave a tiny bit along this edge of white, like that. That should be just about, oops, except that I pulled it again. I'm okay with it hanging off the end because I can trim it, but if it doesn't quite meet up with the end of the cardstock, that is a problem. All right, let's try it again. See, you'll see, I make mistakes too, you know. Okay, that looks pretty good. I may be over a tiny bit farther than I wanted, but that little bit of white is just what I was looking for. So, and then if you have one that hangs over just a bit, you just snip it off, okay? Looks like I've done that a couple of times. Got some pieces stuck to the scissors. Okay, so I am going to choose to alternate mine with the gray granite and the blue. You can, of course, make them any way you want. You could do 2 blues and the gray granite. Completely up to you. All right. So, enjoy. Take your pick. Okay. So we're going to leave just not even as much space as we left over on the edge between these 2 pieces. Just a little bit, so that white is peeking through a tiny bit. Okay. There, whoops. Hey, Leslie. You're supposed to go over the edge and onto the silicone mat, not all over your grid sheet. All right. Here we go. Okay. Now, I've been asked by a lot of people what is my favorite kind of card to make. Not sure, but I know my least favorite is a sympathy card. However, I just learned that a neighbor across the street lost her dad recently, and so I would need a sympathy card. And these very sedate colors in the natural stamps and die cuts made me think, you know what, this could be the card I needed. So I am going to make this into a sympathy card for her. I'll take it over to her after class. I got to get through class first. Okay, I maybe should not have put those on yet, but that's okay. I have right here a Post-it note, so if I make a mess, I can fix it. Here, we'll just put that over here. Okay, there. So let's take this and I'm gonna head up this way, and then I think, oh, I gotta be really careful. Then I think what I'm going to do, after I clean this tiny bit of, I didn't check it first, I caught a little bit of an edge. And then I'm going to stamp that down again, just so that we have that little bit of shadow back there. All right. Now we will put, I have some little edges here, so these little edge pieces will be perfect for adding some dimensionals to our plant. Okay, I'm gonna just put one right over there. That should be plenty. All right. There. Then we'll just put this kind of going this way. So now we've got plants going both directions. Okay. All right. So the linen thread, it comes on a small spool these days, so you may have to kind of straighten it out with your fingers a bit first. Except that I'm probably going to make all the bows for everybody. So then, but what I do, just so you know how I do these, is I double up the twine, whatever I think I'm going to need to make a single. I use that length times 2. And then I just do a little, a little loop, and then another little loop, and then just like I was tying my shoes. Okay, what you do have to keep track of, though, is which loop is sort of an end that you're going to be pulling to straighten out your bow. Okay. All right. So we'll tighten that up, and then we have to get that. So I just fidget with them until they are the way I like them. Okay. And then just trim that end off. And again, the reason I do it attached to the spool is that's all the waste I ended up with after doing my double bow. Okay. All right, so then we'll use a glue dot. And I'll kind of, take your pick tool should be around. I don't know. Anyway, I just kind of fold it in half, sort of, because even a glue dot is a little big and it sticks out. Okay, and we'll just put that there. Oops, hold on. Good thing I didn't press very hard. I'm going to stick that on my silicone craft sheet for a second while I do some more stamping. So this stamp set with Heartfelt Sympathy comes from Inspired Thoughts. It's got some really wonderful greetings in there. All right, so there's that. Okay, now I can put this on like that. Okay. And then, even though it's a sympathy card, it doesn't have to be boring. Oh, did I not? Oh, I thought I had opened this the way I have been trying to open mine. And that is to trim off the very, very edge, just so that it will slide out this way. And then I don't have to hassle with the sticky piece on the back. All right, since I don't have my take your pick tool right here, I will put, I think, one of these big ones. The tip of your scissors will work just pretty well. Down here, now these iridescent rhinestone basic jewels are pretty awesome. And what I like about them is they will sort of pick up the color that's on there, which is pretty awesome. And then I'll put two of the really little ones up here, there, and over here, I think, like that. Okay. So there's that. Okay, now we can assemble everything. Okay, so we're going to add some adhesive to the back of this. Put it on the gray granite piece, like that. And there's something there. So I'm looking for my little sand eraser, which I usually keep right here. Well, I don't know where I put it. Anyway, there's a little mark that I was going to try and get off of there. That's okay. It's a hand-stamped card. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? Okay. There we go. Okay. There. Okay. Looks pretty good. So, a little tiny bit different than the original. I used linen thread instead of white. Changed up the stamp, but thanks, Doreen, for the inspiration. All right, thanks so much.